The message that I always give to my children is just celebrate who you are and be more of who you are wherever you go. I grew up on a council estate in northwest London. My parents came here in the early 80s. My parents worked a lot of hours in order to really provide for us as a family. When you come from a West African culture, you often have to support people back home as well. And I would say that my parents have raised a village. Growing up, education was really big in our house. From the day I was born, my grandmother nicknamed me the doctor. I was also really good at sport. But one of the things my mum always said to me was that she didn't want people to think that people like me could only do sport. I remember when I was 16 and I was doing some stuff with a local radio station in London, and they were doing these battles that you call up and you freestyle over the phone. And I won. When I told my mum was like, yeah, well done. You're starting uni in 3 months. It wasn't until I was in uni that I started meeting people from a really varied background. While I'd grown up as a sort of English Ghanaian in northwest London, and I knew that world so well, it turned out that there was a massive world beyond that. A few of the people that I met seemed really set on getting into banking, investment banking specifically. It didn't exist to me. Nobody, when I was growing up, was a banker. I remember when I was going for my first job interview, one of the things that people had said to me, including my mother, was that I needed to look more professional. I had long hair, cornrows, but once I was about to interview, I was advised to cut it, and I took that advice. It wasn't until many years later I started to kind of feel, I guess, more comfortable in being able to bring my whole self to work. I felt that it was an environment that I could do that in. Then one day I came across a colleague who was an intern, and when I met him, one of the things he told me was that, and he had dreadlocks, and he just cut his hair to get this job. And that personally affected me so much that actually I got a lot more involved in doing work with interns, just so they can see you don't have to fit a very specific profile of person in order to be successful. At Barclays, we have a number of different employee resource groups. Barclays as a company has its culture. The individuals who work for Barclays have their culture. We did the World Culture Day celebrations where we had different foods from all over the world and different cultures, music from different cultures and different worlds. So one of the things that we did is wear your own cultural dress to work. Everyone can see, everyone can celebrate, and everyone can be encouraged that actually they can also bring themselves to work. My kids are also blessed to be representing multiple cultures there as well, which I always encourage them to embrace. Don't let your decisions be led by the small minority of people who are gonna try to limit you or stop you from achieving. Just believe in yourself and know that regardless of how you look, the key thing is what you deliver. I'm Kwasi, and this is me.